Rita Boyo has a visual impairment. You know, we don't say blind because that doesn't mean anything. Visual impairment. But I wanted to tell her story before I go back to look at the social issues that involve. Because Rita wouldn't be where she is today if she didn't get the opportunity of being trained at the Pachali School of the Blind. Am I correct, Rita? Yes. So tell me what you do right now and the challenges that you face growing up.
She has earlier said, I'm Rita Boyo. I'm a teacher that I teach.
Civic education.
I teach civic education and then CRS in the government secondary school. That's in a normal school. Mm-hmm. I teach the normal students. Mm-hmm. So the little challenge, you know, we have is as a woman living with disability and visual impairment. You know, when we have to do something that is like filling a form in the school, mm-hmm. or writing your register or data. You know, you have to lean on people to assist. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not everybody that will wait for you to type or go on your computer to type. Are people generally kind to people who live with disabilities? Very well, you know. Our aides, they're very good. Our colleagues in the office, our parents, our families, husbands, because I'm married.
Okay, at least you see, the point about your story is that there's hope. Disability or not, you can live a full life if you have support. So, Mo, go and give this to... Give it to your mommy. Your mommy will pass it to the next person. Go on to mommy. Mommy. Yes. Mommy. So, mom, you know, mommy is... Okay, let's start with the lady with the Lagos State government, my lead fellow. Federal government. Why do I keep saying federal? You know, okay. The question is, what I want you to respond to is the role of society plays as a social worker in ensuring that people with disabilities get their due. Okay,
thank you very much for having me. Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. Really, society has a huge role to play when it comes to people living with disability, because whether we like it or not, they are a part of the society we live in. And unfortunately, we have built society to look as if we don't have people with disability living within us, amongst us. For example. Yeah, so there's poor accessibility. People with disability, when they go to banks, how do they enter the banks? When they get there, how do they write? Transportation, access to hospital, even we talk about mainstream education. What about people that have learning disabilities? How can they get education? Doesn't mean they can't learn. It's just that they're a bit slower. How do we ensure that they learn at their own pace? But we don't make designs for them. We talk about, if you go to the Western world, how all these things are in place. But it's because they took it into, they took the initiative and started making steps towards it. But until we start doing that, it is going to be very difficult for people with disability to fit into the society. So the society has to fit around them.
AVM should come in at this point. You know, you've been on the show before, you understand, but you are the one that people like you didn't wait for government. You tried to do something about it.
Yes, as a parent of a child with disability, one of the things that hit me very early is that we need to change a lot of things. Nigerians do not understand disability. We're in this whole mindset of being what we can see. The person is in a wheelchair, using crutches and so on. Disability goes beyond that. And another thing is that if we worry only about the children, we will not get solution. The real problem are the parents, those who give birth to these children, and also the society in which we live. Mm-hmm. Stigma is there because we have this fear of what we don't understand. And that's why we're focused on advocacy. We must make sure, you see what Titi said here about providing an inclusive environment. If the people are not receptive, if you take a child in a wheelchair that has seizures and all to ShopRite, or even to a family party, and everybody is upset because you've come to ruin their day, then we have not achieved what we should do. But when people are comfortable with the fact that disability is not infectious, it's not contagious, it's not something that is passed on, then we begin to look at it differently. And Mr. Bankole said something here. Every person who has a disability is a gift from God. They have special gifts, special talents. And when we accept them into our mainstream, we begin to receive blessings that we don't even expect to imagine.
Not easy. Muiwa will tell us about that. Muiwa, you had a son, a mature son. Tell us about that.
I like to describe myself as a very proud father of a son with Down syndrome. My son was 29 years old, October 24th, and I'm very proud of him. Right from the time he was born, I took it upon myself as a challenge. It wasn't easy. I made a lot of mistakes. I didn't understand the condition at that point in time. I was very impatient with him, but I've learned.
Did you hide him at any point in time?
I never, ever did, because I realized he was a gift. Right from the time he was a baby, I took him out. You know, each time I was going to wash my car, I'd take him along, and play with him. And I was very proud to show him to the public. I felt no shame whatsoever. What I was ashamed of was a society that decides to reject them. I was in the church once, in which the pastor prayed that the children will be healed and cured. And when he gave me the opportunity to speak, I said, they will never be cured, they will never be healed. But what can be healed or cured is the society, the attitude of society that treats them with disdain. So that's the...
And that's a good point to give it to Mo's mommy. At least Mo's mommy, you chose not to hide your beautiful daughter. And she's thriving because of that. But I want you to address the issue of support for people who do things like this, on the side. Like Rainbow Foundation, like Benola, and other people.
Well, I believe that individuals that decided to, come to the forefront, bridge the gap, are doing a lot, and they're doing it from their hearts. Well, there's not been any kind of support. For me, there's not been any support, because if you ask everybody doing something like what we're doing...
You're spending your resources.
Yes. You have to just, you see, when you have the passion, you just move. And believe that, okay, this passion is going to get you somewhere. God that has apparently put it in your heart to do this thing for other people because when I look at other people, other children and other families that can't even afford health, to give their children quality health, not to talk of a child having a form of disability, it breaks my heart, because
it's a big challenge.
Yes, it's a challenge.
Only do we have regular challenges. If you add that to it, it's double play.
Yeah.
Sadly, I cannot continue because I must go for the party. We have a party after, but I must not forget to thank Ebele, the flutist, the only female flutist I know for now. For being here with us. She's going to sing us a Merry Christmas. I must thank Channel for giving us this spot, and then of course Ultima Studios for making it happen. And my team, you can't see all of them, but they're all here. Thank you all for a beautiful year. And I think, what would they sing for us? You will dance for me today. Yeah. What are we going to do now?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. So are we ready to do the Merry Christmas and go? Yes. I must thank my staff, everybody. Kainde, Boru, Dotimi Potts, everybody that's helped me. We're going to dance after this, right? So let's go. Are you going to dance? Seriously Speaking. We'll see you again next week. Bye.
Merry Christmas to you all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.